Good afternoon, Professor and audience. I am Sergeant Jason Flores. I am a combat medic in the United States Army, and today we're going to be talking about evacuation operations. So in that, we're going to be talking about how we get patients out, their triage categories, whether we get them out using air, ground assets, and different tools we use to actually move these patients. So a little bit about me. I am a 68 Whiskey, which is a combat medic, as well as I've been in a trauma setting multiple times and currently work in a trauma-oriented facility. With that, I am currently Advanced Cardiac Life Support Qualified, which is ACLS, Pediatric Advanced Life Support, which is PALS, BLS, which is Basic Life Support Qualified, as well as I'm a Master Medic in my trade, and I've been qualified in that as well. I am TC3, which is Tactical Combat Casualty Care Qualified, and I'm able to teach TC3 to people, which is a medical algorithm that 68 Whiskeys use to treat casualties on the battlefield. So going over our agenda, we're going to be going over CCPs, which are casualty collection points. This is where triaging has been done. Evacuation priorities. Manual carries, specifically 1- and 2-man carries, which is going to constitute how we get them out, and disadvantages and advantages of both, as well as litters that we use, whether a SCED or a Talon, as well as ground and air evacs, and how we use both of them. So a CCP. CCPs is where medical treatment is done. This is where we triage a casualty depending on their injuries, and we determine how to get them out and how soon to get them out. So when we're setting up our CCP, the biggest thing is control. We need to have a choke point for when patients come in and a choke point for when they go out. We need to be able to track these patients when they come in and be able to treat them and track them as they go out to the next echelon of care. This is the very most important thing of setting up a CCP. We need to be able to get these patients and treat them adequately with the resources that we have. So evacuation priorities. So this is how we determine how patients get out. So we have urgent, priority, and routine. This is the new standards that NATO has pushed out, and these are the ones that the military is currently using. So urgent, these are patients that need to be out within an hour. So this is life, limb, or eyesight. So this will constitute a gunshot wound to a leg, stepping in on an IED, which is an improvised explosive device. So if I lose my leg from the knee and down, this is going to constitute me, I need to go have surgery, and I need to be out within an hour. Priority, this is where we need to be out within 4 hours. So we have a 4-hour time limit to where we should be out and this patient is stable enough to sit for 4 hours. So this can constitute determining what assets you have and when they actually can get to you. So this is very feasible when you only have a limited amount of air asset and they're already on a mission. So if you have 4 hours, that gives them a little bit more leeway to actually get to you. And last one is routine. So this is patients that need to be out within 24 hours. So this could be a broken ankle or a sprained ankle. Anything that is controlled and stable to where as soon as we can get them out, we will get you out, but you are our initial priority. We have other casualties down in the battlefield that we need to get out before you. You can wait that 24 hours. So manual carries. Today we're going to be hitting on two specific, 1-man and 2-man drags. So 1-man, the advantages are it's very quick and you don't need any equipment. The disadvantages are it's slow. It also, when you're dragging, it puts you in danger because you are so slow. 2-man drags, it's faster. You got 2 people on 1 casualty. You're going to move a lot faster when you're actually dragging that patient. The disadvantages is now it puts 2 people in harm's way versus just that one. So determining on what assets you have, how big your team is, will determine what drags you use in your actual tactical environment will determine that. So a walk kit. So walk kits are a warrior aid and litter kit. So this is primarily going to be placed on all vehicles. It's going to have medical equipment in here, which is going to be able to treat how many patients are in that vehicle. Whether if you have 6 patients or 6 people in that vehicle, you will have enough for 6. It also will have a Talon or a rigid litter. There will be one within this walk kit, and this will be able to use for patients that can't move. They can't walk on their own and they can't stand. So this is when you would use a rigid Talon. A SCED. This is a more feasible tool and what's used a little bit more frequently. It is very pliable as well as really lightweight. So a SCED is you'll put a patient in here and you can drag them on any surface. gravel, grass, concrete, sand, through water, it floats, anything like that. So it's very feasible and very, very much preferred over a talon or a rigid litter. So as you see right here, they're dragging this patient. It's a lot faster and it takes a lot less effort than a rigid talon or a litter. That takes more manpower, where this can only take, you can have a minimum of only one pulling this casualty. So it takes less people out treating that patient and more people in the fight. Alrighty, so ambulance squad. So these people are designated to getting patients out. So these patients, we need to get them out, and their only job is to figure out what their triage category is and how to load them on an ambulance. So the ambulance team, same thing. They're going to be using that, and they're going to be the team that signifies, okay, we need to use this or that, determining on what vehicle that they have. So an AXP, ambulance exchange point. So an ambulance exchange point is where we use two ambulances, and they only have to drive halfway. They drive halfway, they give it to the other ambulance, and they drive back. So with using that, they're going to take that other ambulance and take it back to the front line. So this limits the amount of time that this person is out of the fight and puts more people back in the fight. So an HLZ, a helicopter landing zone. So primarily this is going to be used when we have air assets. So air assets are very essential, definitely when we're evacuating casualties. So setting up, depending if you're using an inverted Y or a NATO T, it's just different ways that we'll actually set up where the bird's going to land. We can use chem lights, or we can use infrared lights, smoke, anything like that. And so, for example, this is a chem light. It is simple, it is easy to use, and all you have to do is you crack it. When you crack it, you shake it up, and boom, you got a chem light. So you can use these to set up your T, and this will help the bird, when they fly into you, definitely know where to land. This is very essential when using it for night operations, as this is a lot lighter to see versus if I have big lights out, it makes me a big target. All right, so questions. Do I have any questions? So to recap, we talked about evacuation orders and operations. So getting these patients out and how to triage them based off their injuries, and different tools that we use, whether it's an ambulance, whether it's an air, and different tools such as a sked or a litter. Okay, so pending your questions. No questions? No questions? Awesome. All right, so we're gonna go out. We're gonna head outside. I got some equipment, okay? So we're gonna have a 5-minute break. Gather your gear together. We're gonna go outside and we're gonna kind of run through how to set up an AXP, set up a CCP, and how to mark an HLZ for a helicopter, okay? All right, let's get out there.